Hello, Angelica and Carol. For those of you watching this YouTube channel that do not know who I'm talking about, Carol Saba is a teacher out of Texas who is doing a homeschooling project with her daughter, Angelica. And they put a few videos up, and I wanted to put out a bit of a challenge. So I'm an educator in Canada, and I was a grade 8 teacher for a long time. And one of the things that I always lamented was that in the curriculum there's no philosophy, and I used to find ways to embed it in there. And so you're doing some homeschooling, so maybe let's take a minute to talk a little bit about philosophy. And one of the things, there's a bunch of things in the world of philosophy that I find really interesting. But I was just going to present to you an idea that I thought was interesting and maybe see if you can dig into it a little bit. So there's this guy, a French philosopher named Descartes, and he's famous for saying cogito ergo sum, which is often translated to I think, therefore I am, which is actually a mistranslation. It's actually I'm a thinking thing, therefore I am a being thing, which is a little bit different. So maybe you've heard that, I think, therefore I am, and wondered why somebody would say this and why it's famous. So he presented himself with a bunch of different problems. One of the problems he presented himself was with the realistic dream. So have you ever had a dream that was so realistic that it felt like it was real? Chances are you probably have. I certainly have. Many times, in fact. In fact, I've never had a dream that I knew was a dream, which also exists. It's called lucid dreams. Maybe you've had one of those, but I've never had a dream where I knew inside of it was a dream. I've had some that were so crazy that when I woke up, I knew it was absolutely a dream. I've also had some that were so inanely normal that when I woke up, I thought, was that a dream? And so Descartes took that to sort of a fairly obvious place of, well, what about if this is a dream? Or what's happening right now? What if this is a dream and this is not actually a part of reality? Which made him question his existence. So how can I prove that I exist? And that is the rabbit hole that he went down in this thought process. And the way he pulled himself out of the rabbit hole was, I think, therefore I am. So, or I am a thinking thing, therefore I'm a being thing. He was saying that he can't actually prove that he exists, and he can't actually prove for sure that what is happening right now is real. This is really the real thing. I'm touching a table and not a representation of a table. But what he did know for sure, 100%, is that he was thinking. And if he was a being that was thinking, no matter what, then he was a real being. And this was the pearl of wisdom that he clung to be able to build all the different philosophies to help try to explain the world. Anyway, for me, this was a crazy concept that I had a real hard time wrapping my head around. So I'm curious, Angelica, what do you think about this question? What are your questions around it? And did you have any sort of philosophical questions that you might want to ask? And of course, we'll end it with the classic riddle that I like to I always love to give to my grade 8s, or anybody for that matter. If a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? Have a good night.